I introduced this conversation a little bit earlier on by saying that Julia Grace is going to teach us how to be more gravelly. Is this a vocal technique thing? Does this involve, I don't know, gargling razor blades or perhaps taking up vaping? Julia, is gravelly something that we should aspire to? Because I'm kind of tending that way already. I think it's morning voice. I don't know.
Sounding very rock and roll and very gravelly anyway, to be
Yeah,
honest. It's a
exactly.
more gravelly time, although early in the morning is always a bit more gravelly.
Yeah.
Really not so much talking about your voice, actually talking more about the way you bring yourself to the table at times when you're feeling a little bit vulnerable.
Ah,
And so kind of gravelly as opposed to concrete. So if you imagine those two
yeah.
substrates, if you imagine
Okay.
one being solid and maybe with a few cracks, but not much of a way to get in.
Yeah, yeah.
And then being porous and still strong and still available to be lent upon,
Yeah.
but with the cracks showing. And this came up to me. I was in a meeting a while ago, and the people in the meeting were going around the circle, kind of going, how we're going with what was happening in an organization at the time. And I was under a lot of pressure, and I think that the people around the table could tell.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes we can.
You just give off that vibe, people go, oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
But they're probably taking my cue as to how much of that I want to, bring to the table,
Yeah, yeah.
and how much of that I just want to go. You know what? Let's just get on with the agenda and move on.
Yeah.
And to be fair, there's a place for both of those in a professional world. However, I looked around the table and I saw strain on people's faces, just living in a world at the moment with a lot going on.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a lot happening, what to do with the economy and politics and all that sort of thing. And I was very tempted to just say, I'm fine, move on. Not so much that I was faking my emotions,
Yeah.
but more like, do we have the time and space right now to get into it, in those moments. And I looked around and I thought, no, I'm just going to be honest. And I said, look, I'm going to be really honest with you all, feeling a little bit wobbly. All is well in the big picture, but I am struggling a bit with this. And the relief on people's faces was palpable, because they kind of came around and said, me too. Yeah, we're all sort of feeling this a little bit.
Yep.
And what I noticed was that in that moment of vulnerability, other people were able then to step in and support me. They could see holes in the gravel, and then they could, hey, could I come in and do this for you? Could I maybe offer to help? And it was a way of actually saying, rather than me being concrete and refusing any sort of assistance, I was able to go, look, I'm still here. I'm still a solid substrate, but there's some cracks here to fill. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, and it's kind of countercultural. I was just trying to get those three words in a row. Kind of countercultural, because we think, oh, concrete, that's good, that's rock solid, that's foundational. I think there's even a parable about it. Build your house on the slurry and the gravel. No, it doesn't say that. It says build your house on the rock. But yeah, actually, not quoting scripture, but Simon and Garfunkel, we don't want to be a rock. We don't want to be that island. We do want to let other people into that space. And to be fair, one thing I've noticed, gravel's one of the key ingredients in concrete. You can't do concrete well unless there's gravel in there. That brings a strength and a stability to concrete that pure cement alone doesn't have that lateral strength. So you see what I've done there with your building metaphor?
I love what you did there. Look at you just carrying on the metaphor. Because gravel also allows for drainage.
Yeah.
So when stuff falls on us, when the things of life are raining down upon us, rather than just trying to hold absolutely rock solid in there, just allowing that stuff to drain through and to say, look, I'm going to pay attention to what is really important here, the things that need my attention. I'm not suggesting that we all just be quicksand. So I will bring my attention to the things that need my attention, but there are a certain amount of things I'm just going to let them drain through as well. So allowing people space to come and support, they can kind of see where those cracks are, but then also allowing some of those things just to come through and just to drain away, so that we are not attempting to be something that we're not, hold something that we're not, or pretend to be superhuman when we're really not.
And I love the way that that being honest in this space, actually, it's good for us. It's good for our mental well-being, but it also helps other people as well. Having a conversation earlier this morning, in fact, about how working on our godliness, polishing our halo and saying, oh, hey, we've got our act together, is just intimidating for other people, right? That if we can say, yeah, okay, work in progress, got some cracks, not coping so well at the moment, that actually just does give everybody permission to relax a little bit. We get to know each other a bit more. We're in relationship with each other. We're not competing as in who's more perfect than the next person, like we sometimes do on social media, but actually building something stronger relationally as well as what's happening for us personally, right?
Absolutely. And what we do is we show that, first of all, it's permission giving.
Yeah.
So you're saying, look, I can't do everything. I'm part of a collective, I'm part of community. And so therefore, I'm giving you permission to not be expected to do everything as well. So that's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
But then also sort of saying, look, these are the things that I'm great at. This is what I bring to the table. But these are some places where you might see yourself as being able to help me. And I think we say, help others, but it's kind of sometimes like, I don't really know what to do. So unless we're a little bit vulnerable with the things that we are struggling with, or even the things that we're just not good at doing, other people can, that they can struggle to figure out where to fit themselves. So by having a little bit of vulnerability, they can see themselves being able to help you. Good for you, good for them, win-win, everyone's happy.
I've got a motivational poster for this.
Okay.
There's no I in concrete.
Oh.
There's also no I in gravel either, but let's not split hairs about this one. Some wonderful wisdom and advice, and as always, Julie, some very memorable, grabbable words, some very applicable take-home points in this regard. And hey, this is what you do, encouraging people with your words, giving people permission to have those wobbly moments and invite other people in. People can connect with what you're doing on the socials, lots of grabbable words and applicable points there. Hey, and of course, your website, juliagrace.co.nz. Appreciate what you do. Thank you for being so gravelly, and thank you for joining us today.
Likewise.